All right, I want to thank you all for being here. And I don't know what kind of a delay we have now that Lynn fixed my unit. It might be 3 seconds, it might be 7 seconds, or 10 seconds, or what. I have no idea. So that's between the things that I say and, um, and your ability to respond or what you say and when you hear me or whatever. But I do want to thank you for being here. And the next gathering is you got all the hair dryers going. Okay, that warms you all up, huh? I love it. In the middle of winter, the Arctic cold up in Canada. Oh my gosh. All right. So the next gathering we're going to be having is going to be in January the 12th. And excuse me, January the 6th. And Lynn will be putting up everything that I mentioned. So please look for that in the sidebar, and I'm going to make sure I keep scrolling down if there's any kind of answers or anything from people. But the next, yes. Um, so the next gathering is January 6th, and it's free, no charge. Please feel free to be there, and it's open, to anyone, that can get in. I'd love it. And the next healing circle is January 12th. Oh, the hot flashes keep you warm. That's awesome. That's awesome. Nothing to worry about. But everyone else is freezing, but you got nothing to worry about. All right. And the next healing circle is January 12th. And that's every other week. So please do take advantage of that. With the gathering, I will work with some people, but I'll be answering questions that people might have, on spiritual healing or what I do or about spirituality and various topics, and I'll try to answer them the best that I can from within myself. And so the healing circle again is January 12th, and the next gathering is January 6th. And the healing circle is every other week, and there's no charge for that either. They're really quickie healings, as I tell people. And the healings may last for 5 minutes or may last for the rest of your life or anything in between. I never know. I let people pretty much tell me. And we do have a workshop that's coming up. It's called The Art of Healing. It's incredible. Please do take advantage of that. It's a 4-day workshop. It's a paid workshop. It's the only paid things that I have on my venue, and what I announce as well. And it's a 4-day workshop. It's an hour and a half a day, and it's listed on the website. And there you go. Thanks so much, Lynn, for putting that up. And there'll be a lot of details about it, and it'll break you into the world of healing. And even if you're experienced or the most experienced, you'll still be able to, take advantage of that. And just about everyone tells me that they learn new stuff that they weren't aware of before, and also approaches in the utilization of it, of working with healing. And it'll get pretty in depth, and it's a very open forum. And I do teaching. There's lots of exercises, and it'll just keep going and going and going. And then Lynn's beating me to all the announcements here. And again, all the classes and events are free, except for the workshops. And everything has a replay on it. So that if you miss one class because you're doing something else, you're obligated, or you're not going to be able to attend any of them, you'll still have the availability to replay. With the workshops, you'll have all the replay available on a private channel. So you'll never miss anything, not to worry about it. And if there's any topics that you see in the past workshops and you want to buy them, you can. They are available. And so the last workshop was Initiate Your Intuition, and it was incredible. According to what people told me and what came out of me. And every class I give, even the mini classes that are free, also they're all different. Even if I repeat a topic, it's going to be totally different. A lot more information, a lot more depth to it, I should say, and because we're always growing, we're always evolving, and so all things are based upon that pretty much. Let me see here. We have some more people. I don't know who everyone is though. This is great. All right. Let's see. The So don't miss out on that. That's starting in January, and that'll be again from 12 to 1:30 in the afternoon. Hey, Prachi, good to see you. Thanks for being here, my dear friend. And I hope California is nice and warm for you. So the 4-day workshop, 12 to 1:30 each day, my time, and you rock. And let's see, that will be on the 18th. Excuse me, no, when is the workshop, Lynn? Can you tell me? January what? Is it January 18th or something like that, or 16th? I'm not sure. The 4-dayer. And I understand, Prachi, and I'll ask, a blessing on you and see if we can help that. And if you want to set up an appointment, please do. And with the appointments, I work with someone from anything from a half an hour all the way up to an hour. Yes, I can, Prachi, no problem. And so the appointments are extremely effective, people tell me. I say that way because I never know, what God does. And it's always varied for each person each time. And I don't make any claims, I don't diagnose, and I don't prescribe. I pretty much say, okay, boss, this is a situation with this person, help them. And that life force just takes over and does something. It changes things in people's bodies and the emotions, etc. I don't work with emotions on these groups live. I don't want to spew everyone's stuff out publicly. So I always do that. It is on the 18th. Thanks, Lynn. All right, and Lynn is the main hub here. She rocks and rolls and lives in Canada in the little log cabin that's about 8 by 8, and she has a fireplace and an outhouse outside. So, all right. So some people have asked questions, and they asked last week, but I wasn't able to communicate because my system wasn't working too well until Lynn fixed it later. I think it was the next day. But feel free to post any kind of questions and ask anything about questions or understandings on spirituality or healing that I might be able to answer or elaborate on. That's what this is for. Also, I want to mention, if you need any help financially, you really, really need it financially to have an appointment, I can work with you on that. Just let me know, contact me, and or Lynn, and Lynn will forward it to me. But if you need any help financially on any of the workshops, they will be made available to you, and will help you. Lynn can help you with that. And Lynn's email is admin@markehrlichs.com. So please feel free to write her if you want to go to a class and the financial is limited, and we'll definitely be able to help you when the workshops are offered, like this one coming up, The Art of Healing. So take advantage of them, though. They're for everyone, and I want everyone to be able to take advantage of them. And another thing that I want to mention, and I've been mentioning this for the past few classes, is that I'm not legally able to collect donations, but I do have the acceptance of supporting and gifting. And on the website, there's a link to that. So please feel free. It's a PayPal thing, and you can even do it monthly if you want. There's a thing for that as well. There's Lynn's address, admin@markerlix.com. And so go to the website, and there's just more and more people now than ever before, and we're going to be seeing even more people that are very much in need. There's about 4 or 5 people that I'm working with now, especially one fellow who's in really direful shape and condition, not only financially, but emotionally, mentally, and physically. And I do as much as I can for him. I do as much as I can for all these people, and I like to give. And so I've been giving food and money to these people as much as I can. And also that's what the donations mainly cover, but it also helps to support us to keep going, and also for people who don't have the means to have an appointment that really need it, and or say if someone has a calling also for the workshop, if we get enough money for that, eventually I'll be able to apply for those things as well, plus a lot of other things. We are starting our application. It takes a long time, but we're starting our application for 501c3 to be nonprofit, and it's going to take a while, a long time, a long while. And so eventually we will be legal for accepting donations and working with those things. And so I just want to let everyone know that. But she does have OL, yes, yes, in the log cabin. It's 8 by 10 or 10 by 10 or something like that, with the fireplace in it, and bedroom and the kitchen all in one room, which is great, and the outhouse outside. So, all right. Let me see here. Is there anyone else? But if you do need help financially with an appointment or one of the workshops, either ask Lynn or call me at 888-380-6388, and or go to the website and do me an email, whatever your preference is, or you can FaceTime me or whatever. And the appointments now are either through telephone, or they're through FaceTime, or they're through Zoom, whatever your preference. It doesn't matter to me. And they're very effective. Different, but just as effective as if we were in person. And maybe someday in person we'll be doing this, maybe in June or so, when the times permit it a little bit more. All right, let me see here. Again, if you have any questions, please type them out and on this little comment bar here, and I'll do my darndest to read it and get to it. Let me see here. Ethel, she wrote last week, and I don't even know if she got this or not. She wrote, "Thanks so much for our session. My sister-in-law will be coming tonight," and she registered. That's great. And that was last week. And she had several things that were not good with her. And then in the middle of the session, I mentioned to her, and this is really frequent when it happens, in this middle of the session that we had the appointment, I mentioned to her, and as she was telling me all these dynamics in her body, that I asked her about her heart, because I saw inside of myself, I had a knowing that encompasses hearing and seeing. And in that knowing, I knew the heart was a minor issue, but that was affecting and creating a lot of situations in the body. So I asked her about that. She said, "Oh, no, nothing's wrong with the heart." It was later that she wrote me that it was her, she remembered worrying about that, and it was the heart. And so, that's what I prayed for later as well. And when I say pray, I don't do it in a religious way. I do talk to God, what I refer to as God. Everyone has a different name or coding for it or whatever. I call it God, and that's my personal preference. And so I talk to God, and things most often happen, as people tell me. Again, I don't make any claims, I don't diagnose, and I don't prescribe. But people say that things do happen, and they tell me what has happened since. And most people notice a change in their life, and that's all that really matters to me. I don't go after a lot of the dramatics anymore. I just go for the causes of things. And sometimes I'll be able to perceive of those things and to work with them, and other times I'll just work with them right there. And most people tell me that something has changed. And yeah, universal or God. Yeah, universe or God. And whatever, is a preference. And it's all valid too. All valid. And it doesn't care what you call it. And sometimes I call it, sometimes the nameless one, sometimes creator. Whatever I'm taken to say, or when I'm feeling that or expressing that. So, and then there was one person, I think it was Ethel, who mentioned that while I'm working with someone or talking in a real in-depth way, uh, they hear a high-pitched sound in the background, but not at other times. And people have been telling me this for a long time now, many people. And I call it the God juice. And so some people may experience it. Sometimes most people when I'm doing these things, and other times not so many people, but a lot of people do experience it. Um, and, it's just a part of my life, I guess, something. It's been that way for a long time. Jackie wrote last week. Interesting, I was just thinking about this on NPR, and I was talking about something pertaining to death. And people were talking about how fires have in the past ultimately released new life in the forests. And what is this new life being released now? It's like I don't see it as anything esoteric in some sense, but in another sense, it is a little bit. Um, uh, I call it regeneration, and everyone, like in the forests on Earth, we call it a regeneration process, regenerative process, that more life comes forth, a greater life comes forth, a newer life comes forth. And it even happens within us. It's a part of our lives as well. We're constantly in death. We're constantly dying. But I remember many, many years ago, maybe 25, 30 years ago, or for more than that, over 40 years ago, 45 years ago, I was every single night in front of my little altar thing, and I was saying, hey, God, take my life, kill me. And I knew that was so real for me that I wanted it to replace more of it instead of what I identify as me. And so uh, that was my prayer. And still, till today, every once in a while, I still say that in my prayers. I say, "Take my life, kill me, God." And I know it's a newer me that comes forth. It's a regenerative me that comes forth, and it helps me in my life, in my living, and it helps me in my thinking and my emotions, everything. Uh, there's a balance that happens and takes over. So that was a great question, Jackie, and I love that. And Kathy, she wrote last week, "Hi, Mark. Can you speak some on the Mobius? Is this related to the Mobius strip?" No. I had not heard of this before. Thank you. In some workshops, I refer to the Mobius as it's almost like the old Windows screensaver where there's a cloth that's folding and unfolding in itself, always constant in motion, flowing and moving, uh, uh, never ceasing in itself. And it's in constant flow, always, and going in all different directions. And it's always in sync with itself. And that's what I feel or I could feel uh, when I'm working with people. And I know a person in their physiology is are sometimes out of balance when I feel that Mobius kind of staccato or stuck at times or not flowing fluidly. And I refer to that Mobius as the breath of life, the dance of God, or the breath of God. And it's always, and when I can see it in that movement, in that flow, that's when I know my work is done. Uh, and it can work sometimes with pain or disease or injury or different organs out of sync or whatever. So, um, good. That was a good question, Kathy, and I hope that answered it a little bit more. Please, if there's any questions, I can try to uh, answer pertaining to spirituality or healing. I'd be more than happy to. So please type them out, and uh, I'll give my all to it and do my best from my heart. Um, Let me see here. Sue wrote, my friend Sue. Well, before we get to Sue, is there anyone here who has one thing, just one? I don't want to work with many things in the body or whatever. Is there one thing that you would like me to work with or ask a blessing for? Uh, and what I refer to as a blessing. And it's like the intercession of God coming forth. And most people tell me that, yes, something has happened, either immediately or incrementally or whatever. Uh, Allison, I had a rough day. All right. But, all right, Allison, you're going to have to do this my way now. And no fidgeting or anything else. I just want you to sit back and to close your eyes for a moment if you can, please. And I want you to stop your thinking and just, take a breath every time you think. Catch yourself thinking and take a breath and just let it out of your mouth. And so I'm going to imagine, that means to image in action, that I'm putting my hands on your head. And you may sense something, not to talk you into it, it's not hypnosis or anything, but you may sense something happening. We're going to take some of that sadness and dissipate it, and you won't even know where it went. And I tend to think you even a moment ago had uh, a thought of, it was a really quick thought of crying. And it's good to let go and not be so protective anymore. It's good to let go. You can still love, you still give, you can still do everything. But it's that holding on to the protection that's like a containment. So, all right, Allison, uh, please let me know how you're doing and or if you had experienced any of those things. And sometimes when I say these things, people won't remember what their experience was, and um, or they don't need to remember, or they won't remember, or it's and it's all fine. It's all fine. Or they'll remember later. That happens too. All right, tell me how you're feeling, Allison, please. All right, now let me see here. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. There was a change of mind in that as well. I'm Lynn said I would like to ask a blessing for Ellis's son. Can you tell me one thing um, with your son and um, uh, that I can work with? One thing, please. And please type it out, hon. Just one. God doesn't need a lot of detail. And I just say, okay, boss, this is the situation. What are you going to do about it? And the boss says, well, let me take care of this or work with it. All right. All right. There's the, yeah, yeah. My blessings, Allison. And if you ever have the opportunity, I would love to work with you on an appointment. Can you tell me one thing about your son, please? His OCD. Okay. Sometimes um, I'll perceive that different things, and sometimes I'll perceive angelics, though I only believe in God, but I'll see what's within the mind of God and the heart of God, which is the angelic realm. And I perceive that there were, um, there you go, Allison. All right. Um, that's the love of God you're feeling. That's why you're crying, hon. You're actually being touched by the love of God. And so, and it hasn't forgotten you. Just to let you know. And it does love you deeply. Uh, but I perceive that there were angelics that are with your son, regardless of what you see out of your eyes or anything else, or hear out of your ears. Are still angelics there, and they are with him. All right, um, that's good. That's good. All right, please. Is there anyone else that I can work with? Please. Anything anyone would like me to talk about specifically, I gladly will. Lynn, is there anything for you, please? Please. Anything you would like me to work with, Lynn? Or even Patty, my dear. How are you doing, Patty? How are you doing? Please let me know. And um, let me see here. Who else is there? Prachi. Um, yes, I will. I'll ask a blessing for this evening, Prachi. But you got to keep in mind the indifference. It's really important to regain that indifference. Otherwise, you're taking it personal. That's whatever's giving you the difficult time. So uh, it's important for the indifference. Please keep that in mind, Karachi. And I'm going to work with. You're good, Allison. You're good. Hey, Stephen. Good to see you. Good to see you, my dear friend. Oh, my brother. Yes. Daughters and the family. Yes. And you have been out of touch. This is with Karachi. And the reason you've been out of touch is that you wanted to isolate yourself, even though you were around other people, maybe, but you still want to isolate yourself, and uh, because you feel little, and you don't want to go there necessarily. You can experience it, which is great, but realize that you're experiencing that, and let these blessings help you. Go back to that divinity within. It's waiting for you. Trust in that divinity. Trust in that godliness. It's there, and it never hasn't been. All right. Thanks, Brache. Patty, is there anything I can possibly work with? Please feel free. Please. Um, I'd be more than happy to. And let me see here. What else? Who else here? Lynn Prache, your throat. Okay. You got to keep drinking a lot of water, though, Prache. Very important for you. It's almost like a car. You got to put water in the radiator for everything else to work, and it's the same thing with your throat. If you put water in your car and more water as needed, uh, and that's really going to help you a lot, and it'll keep what's happening in your body from exacerbating so much. So, my perception. So please do take advantage of that. Patty here, she wrote, blessings for my daughter Trisha, severe stress, 15 years, work days. Oh my gosh. Her company sells COVID testing. Thanks. All right. Well, let me work with your daughter with this severe stress, but she's also going to have to learn, what to do with that stress and how not to accept it in her life. But I will gladly ask a blessing on her, Patty. Gladly. All right. And thank you for letting me work with her as well, Patty. Lynn, blessing is always welcome. I've been out of sorts. Okay. It's all that wood chopping you're doing there, Lynn. Okay, Lynn. And let me see here. And also with, who is it? With Allison, you may break out in more of a deep, cry. But that's good. That's good. And let that happen. That means there's change happening. There's a divinity within you that's helping you in your personal life. So please do keep that in mind. And you might notice that the deep, uh, you know, crying come upon you a couple times tonight and tomorrow. Just know what it is. It's that godliness. Hey, Sushian, good to see you, my dear friend. Um, I would love to do a blessing for you, Sushian. And it just came, kept coming to mind that it was a blessing of peace for you. So, all right, all right, Allison, that's good. Uh, yes, yes, and there was someone else here that uh, I don't remember what it was, but that's okay. Sue had asked, and she's not here now. She wrote these questions out so she could see this later. But oh, I remember what it was. I wanted to see if my friend Anne was here and how she was doing, but I don't see her name there. And I hope she's well from the last appointment that we had. Uh, in any case, um, Sue wrote, "Hi, Mark. For tonight, can you talk about discernment with healing?" Yeah, I think that's the only way healing can happen is through discernment. Otherwise, we're involved, we're taking control, or someone else is in control. And if we have discernment, it cuts out the personal stuff. It cuts out the diatribes, the conversations, the thinkings, and all this other stuff. The discernment gets to the core of being able to see and to perceive and to give. And it's through the discernment that those things happen. Very important, very, very important. Um, so that's my answer to that. It's very important for that. And she has another question, but first I want to get to Steve. Stephen, my dear friend, he has chest congestion. And it's important for you to drink a lot of water too, Steve. And also, Steve, every time the thought comes in that you have the flu or COVID, either one, uh, there's a mind behind it, and it's a non-discrete, numinous mind, and it's the backbone of a lot of that stuff for a person. So watch that leave you like a fume every time you think of that. Steve, it's really important for you, my dear friend. Please think of that as a fume coming out of you and leaving totally. And there'll be other times that you'll see that that mind of that flu or COVID or whatever is deep, deep inside. Watch it leave you like a fume, no matter how deep it is. I'm just, suggesting that to you, my dear friend. And I did ask a healing on you as well. And please do let me know, how you're doing and all like that, gladly. And also, I'll do prayers for you tonight as well, Steve. A lot of prayers. You know, I know that you had, uh, uh, gone to the website for appointment as well. So let me know, please. And I'd love to chat with you if you ever have the opportunity as well. But I will do a lot of prayer work for you for sessions worth. Um, Let me see here. Who else? Prashi, blessings and prayers for my daughters and family. Yes, you got that. Um, and Lynn, question earlier. Allison asked a question. I'm curious about your answer. With all the fluoride, I didn't even see the question. With all the fluoride they fed us, can intuition still be developed? That has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Intuition is a separate thing. It's perceiving uh, the godliness. It's becoming in communion with the godliness within us, and that wants to share with us. And fluoride's not going to make a difference in that. Don't worry about the pineal gland or anything else. In the old days, they used to think the only intuitive people there were people with long hair, and so and it was the hair that was the receptor to heaven. So don't worry about it, not at all. And just have that godliness in mind. That's all that matters. Whatever you want to call it, the Creator, the Nameless One, the Source, Universe, Universal Mind, anything you call it, the Christ. It'll all be there. Yahweh, Buddha, Muhammad. It'll all be there. Whatever your belief system is in, it's all one God and wants to share with you. That's all. That's all that really matters. All right. Blessings. Right. I got that. So Sushi and Allison, yes. All right. Divine intervention. My furnace guy canceled. Awesome. All right. And all right, Allison, please do book an appointment. Really important. One thing I want to mention, please, these are free. Feel free if you choose to want to be able to, support on the website or gift. And there's a link for that. Everyone will be affected to varying degrees. I'm not going to snap my fingers, my magic fingers, say done. It's done by the word of God. It's done. And everyone will be affected varying degrees in different ways. So, let me see here. I asked a blessing, Patty. I will ask a blessing for myself. My pleasure, Patty. Then I know what to work with also. All right. And also, as far as the gifting or supporting on the website, I do know that as we do give, it's given to us as well, our needs as well. So, and may it happen manyfold. All right. Then, Prachi, things got significantly worse after my appointment with you, and I'm so sorry. And somehow I couldn't hold on to the indifference. Yet I have survived and been able to find the courage that I didn't have before. And even though not in a good place, I have a strong feeling that I am marching rapidly towards light. And I know you have something to do with this newfound wisdom and courage. It's what we talked about, and everything leads into that, Parachi. Honest to God. Honest to God, change is happening. That's all that matters. All right. Thank you, Steve. And you guys rock as well. Yeah, I'm smiling too, Patty. I'm smiling too. All right. Well, oh my God, it's almost time. Any other? Oh, there's one more question here from Sue. Please describe what to say to a new person who does not know about spiritual healing or long distance work. She has multi-physical and emotional challenges. We'll listen to replay. Um, what do I say about it to a new person who doesn't know about? Well, firstly, I will not work with anyone that doesn't come to me. I never approach people unless I see someone on the street or something like that, and then I'll ask them just out of the blue, can I put my hands on your head, or can I put my hands on your arm, or or I'll see someone with an injured arm, then I'll just go up to them and say, "Oh my God, what happened?" And then I'll put my hands on their arm, and then I'll say a real quick prayer within myself, and but it'll be a prayer from my knowing, you know, the perfection of that person, even if I've never seen them before. It'll still come to you of what they need, and whether it be to fix an injury or something else that created an injury or whatever. And you guys rock. You guys totally rock. Thank you so much. Um, so, uh, I remember in the old days, years and years ago, I went into a drugstore one time to get some gum, I think it was, or soda or something. And this is a long time ago. And there was these two little old ladies that were at the counter asking the pharmacist guy who was at the register for some aspirin. And he says, "Oh yeah, let me go get it." And so I tapped the lady on the shoulder who's at the counter, and I said, who with her friend, and I said, "Do you have a headache?" She says, "Yeah." And so I said, "Can I?" And I threw my hands on her head. I didn't ask her permission, nothing. It was all brand new stuff for me. And so I wanted to try this out. I was excited about all this stuff. Um, and so I threw my hands on her head, and she's wide eyed, not knowing what to do. Her friend's frozen, solid, knowing that I wasn't beating her up or anything. And so my hands are on her head, and I felt my indicators, and I took my hands off it for about maybe 5 or 7 seconds. Pharmacist came back, and I just left. you know, it was the most hilarious thing. But I knew that her headache was gone because I could see it. It wasn't there anymore. And so that's how I approach people sometimes. No, hardly ever. But I will go up to people and I say, "Are you hurting?" And they'll say, "Yeah." And I'll say, "May I?" And can I try something with you? Or, because I don't want to say, "Oh, I'm a healer, by the grace of God, I want to change your life." I don't want to say those kinds of things. That turns people off. And so I just try to be as congenial as I can in the place that they're at in their life. And I like to keep it that way. I was even in the airport, I guess it was about a year ago, a year and a half ago, and there was a fellow sitting on like a ledge of a post uh, before you go onto the plane area and in the waiting area. And he was holding his head, and I said, "Oh my God." I didn't say, "Oh my God." I said, uh, "How's your head?" And he says, "It hurts." And I said, "You want me to take it from you?" And he said, "Yeah." And so I closed my eyes. I didn't even put my hands on the side. I just closed my eyes and I just watched it go. And he looked up. He was clear and he was speechless. And I just walked away and never saw him again. And so, different situations for different people. But I want to make it congenial for people where they're at in that moment. Desperate, really desperate, generally. Then I find an opening, to be congenial in that way. Prache, gosh, I wish I could run into you someday. Oh, well, don't hurt me. Don't knock me over. I'm a wimp. um, maybe it may be clearing up a little bit in June, so I'll be going out to the Phoenix area. And if you can get enough people in California, I'll come out there. and I'll do a healing circle, free healing circle, and a workshop and appointments. So and that's how I work. I let people invite me, or I have prearranged events. So I'd love to do that project. Um, Let me see here. In any case, Sue wrote, please describe what to say to a new person. And I just gave my spiel on it. The world according to Gartmark. So, um, please, if there's any other questions or anything, I'd love to answer them, or anyone would like me to work with them, I'd love to be able to. I have no qualms whatsoever about doing it. It's totally enjoyable, and God loves it. That's what it does, and it wants us to find it within ourselves. So, uh, and if not, noted. Yes, noted, Prachi. Um, Let me see here. Whether you work with one person or 100 people in a row, you give it your 200%. I do my darnest. I do it. At the healing circles in the old days in Chicago, there were 200 people a week. Sometimes, other times 50, sometimes 250, and it was unceasing. God just loved it. It loves to give, and it loves to give us. So, um, in any case, um, I don't know of anything else. And I can't think of anything to uh, flap my lips about here. Please do, if you're interested in the appointments, take advantage of them. Please do take advantage of them. They are available on the website if you need help. We can help you somewhat. And if you want to attend the workshop coming up, um, uh, you know, let Lynn or I know if you need help in that. Otherwise, sign up on the web page for the workshop, uh, and we'll just take it from there. So, all right, everyone. And Parashi wrote, I also feel I was summoned here today, as I was not going to sign in. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you listened to yourself. Uh, and that's what it's about. We have the opportunity to listen to ourselves, and that's exactly what I wanted to um, also do for the meditation, real quick. Prachi wrote, but I'm here to thank you for your prayers. I already feel like I am not alone, and you're not. And it will work out in favor, and it will. But you have to be indifferent. You have to. Indifferent is not bad. Indifferent is not cold. It's separating yourself from the dilemmas, dramas, and traumas. And that's what the indifference is. And it's seeing the truth of things and not participating in the reaction. So that was the meditation I wanted to do as well. And if you'd like to, please just close your eyes, or you can contemplate it later, or you can meditate it on it later. But look for that indifference within yourself, looking out into the world. Notice the indifference that you are in observing. Try that. Just try it. Looking at the indifference in the world as you're observing. What would it be like not to participate in the dilemmas, dramas, or traumas? What would it look like? Don't think of an answer. Let it come to you. Let it be shown to you. It'll be really quick. There. All right. All right. I really want to thank everyone for being here. This will be posted in a very short time so you can review it. And please, if anyone wants appointments, let me know, or Lynn, and or workshop, sign up. Or if you want to go to the website, and please give from your heart. Very important for you, and it helps you as well. Uh, Now I'll say my adieus. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to having more contact with you all. Bye bye, hon.